a deep breath and remember who you are. Yeah, they're gonna mess with you, baby, you're a star. Stepping in the spotlight, you know that it feels like time to put up a fight, honey. Got nothing left to lose, so let's start right now. Everybody want a piece of you. Gotta give them what they want, it's true. You're symphonic, yeah, so iconic. If you didn't know before, now you know. Now you know. Take a big step away from who you were. Flashing that smile and the whole world's a blur.
Positively powerful, persevering over technical difficulties. The heck with you, Restream. We're going to do it anyway. Scott Fitzgerald alongside Stacey Steinmiller. And yeah, I was struggling with this live stream for whatever reason. It just was not cooperating. And then I made it work somehow. So, God willing, we are on the socials right now doing the live stream, and we're running a little bit behind, which I will take full responsibility for, even though it was not my fault. Today, and you know, the subject is apropos, right? Failure.
It really is.
Failure.
It really is.
You know, this live stream was almost a failure today, but it was not. And
Yes.
you know, failure is an important piece of life, an important piece of success. And I mean, you go back to one of the oldest tales of failure in my mind is Thomas Edison failed 10,000 times before he managed to create the electric light bulb. So you know, if that isn't the definition of perseverance, I don't know what is. What is your, Stacey, what is your opinion of the role that failure plays in our, you know, success, in our strive for success?
I would say necessary. Like, yeah, I would say necessary, because to succeed, you have to take a risk. And yeah, if you give up right away, you can't succeed. So you have to be willing to fail. Like it's a very intricate process, or part, I should say, of success. They go hand in hand, right?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
a lot of times you don't arrive at the answer or the correct answer without going through all those different problems. And like you said, if you were to give up and say, well, I failed, I guess we won't do this, then you're missing out on all the could be's, all of the what would happen if types of things. And goodness knows, I mean, I'm no stranger to failure at all, but I definitely wouldn't I don't even know if failure is the right word. It's just like the wrong, it's like, I don't know. It's like going down the wrong path. You know, it's not the right path. So you realize you're going down the wrong path. You turn around, you go back, and then you go another path, and you realize, oh, that's the right way. Failure has such a negative connotation for us, and a finite connotation, and it's not finite. You know?
Yeah. So
it's not
either
the end.
defining, right. So it's either defining failure differently or not believing in failure. So I tend to be like, pick one and go with it. They both will do the same thing for you. So yeah, you could be like, well, I don't believe in failure, because you reframe it as learning opportunities. So therefore it no longer becomes finite, right? So the whole definition of what we see failure to be is, changes. But yeah, failure is, I guess then it's a choice. It's a giving up. It's a, right? Instead of a redirection.
Right. You make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. But if that mistake suddenly defines you, or now controls your trajectory, then you have to rethink what you're doing. Like, why would that one mistake suddenly be the end all? Obviously, if the mistake, that you made causes you to die, that's a
then you
different
wouldn't be
story.
having this
Then you it doesn't
conversation
matter
'cause you'd
anyway.
be
It doesn't
dead.
matter anyway.
Right.
Didn't mean to
Yeah.
get morbid on it, but there's just so many things that, the trial and error. Every inventor has gone through a number of failures in trying to achieve whatever it is they're trying to invent, or the problem they're trying to solve. They're like, well, that was the wrong way to do it. Start back over. And it really takes a certain kind of person, especially when it's a long journey in, whatever the process is, to actually go, all right, we're going back to square one. We're going back to the drawing board. Cause that's like, oh. Especially if it's one of those things that, like, I just put the last 2 years of my life into this project and it failed. Well, what did you learn?
Right. Exactly.
And that's the key to failure is what have you learned from this experience, and how can you apply that to your next go around? And it could be very inspiring. You could use that as like, all right, so that didn't work, but I'm excited for all these new things that we can try. But
Right.
that again
Yeah.
is like a mindset thing, which we all know you're
Exactly.
good at.
Right. Yeah, and it's mostly not taking it personally, not letting the quote failure result in shame. And so when we start to really contort the outcome with who we are and what that says about us, that's when people really get stuck. Because they're trying to avoid that negative feeling about themselves. So now it feels very risky to take a risk, because it's not just something not working. It's, what does that say about me as a person? Like, now my identity is on the line. Now my worth is on the line.
Yeah.
And that is what tends to really stop people from moving forward.
Yeah, that identifying with that. I'm it's one of those failure is one of those subjects that has always been a difficult thing for me to deal with. I mean, I'm sure everybody has that same kind of feeling, but it wasn't until I started getting into like Napoleon Hill and these different motivational speakers and motivational thinkers that helped me to reframe what the definition of failure really was and what it meant. And I know a lot of people now, there's a lot of people that kind of wear it as a badge of honor. Like, you know what? I failed 50 times. I failed 50. Like, how many times did you fail before you made it? Well, I failed 60 times. Oh, you're cool. I failed 75 times. And when you change it around like that, it's almost kind of funny, but it does help with your mindset.
Yeah, well, and I think you're bringing up a point too of recognizing how common it is to fail is kind of what I hear, when you say that as well,
Yeah.
even though you're being cheeky about it, as being like, yeah, everybody fails. Everybody that's super successful has failed a lot and has fallen on their face and has gotten up again. And so then, and that can really help with that shame piece that I was talking about, right? But the ego likes to think it's special, be like, well, everybody else fails, but I'm not allowed to. I'm not supposed to. So, I mean, it still sneaks in, but sometimes recognizing that everybody goes through that can be helpful for some people.
Yeah. I'm at a loss for words today.
That's fine. I have lots of words.
Yeah, you use your words.
Talk about. I'll use my words.
And
Yeah, go ahead.
No, you go.
Okay. So, yeah, but I think one of the main things I wanted to talk about is when you identify a moment of failure, um, is yeah, how to learn, how to shift and learn from it. Like, what am I learning from this? What is this moment in time showing me? Like, something's always being communicated to you. And if you're too tunnel visioned, it's going to be hard to see what it is that's available to you. So kind of really like taking a step back, um, and then kind of coming in your clarity of what you know of the trajectory you're on. Like, I know that this is where I'm going, but what's right in front of me isn't like matching, right? And so then you feel this like disconnect. So instead of, so that another problem that people get into, they then try to like, then, okay, I just got to force this to happen, right? Because this isn't making any sense. So I need to force it. Um, but that tends to cause more failures and problems. And then it's really time to like step back, not take it personally. What is this showing me? And yeah, when we take that emotion out of it, it becomes more expansive and you can see things in a different way. And I think that's how we can learn and move through our failures so that we keep going. Because and then another belief that I have is if you keep going, you'll make it. You'll get to wherever it is that you're going, right? You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, if you stop, then you're not going to get there, obviously.
And obviously fear is the main player here, at least for me, you know, that I have a couple of goals that are in my mind right now, and they're lofty and scary. There's some things that I want to do that I don't know how I'm going to make it happen. But I want to make it happen, but I don't know how I'm going to do it. And it's a risky thing. You know, it's a thing that that if I do fail, there could be consequences, you know, to myself and my family and things like that. So it's like weighing those out and trying to understand that deep down feeling on whether or not I'm aligned with that goal.
Right.
That's the really tough part, because I don't know if I'm aligned with it. I think I want to be aligned with it, but I'm like, is my fear the one that's keeping me from feeling like it's aligned? Does that make sense? It's like,
yeah.
I can imagine accomplishing the goal and it feels good. And it's like, yes, that's exactly what I want to happen. And that would be cool. That would be awesome. And it's like, hey, can that happen? I guess I'm still in the research phase. So there's more research I have to do in order to become fully aligned with the goal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that fear stops me from even like, do I even want to do the research? Do I even want to bother? Because that's really scary.
Right. Yeah. So it's taking one step at a time, right? So it's kind of tackling the fear that's at hand right there. And yeah, so even if it's in the research phase, then it's like, well, what would happen if I didn't do this? What would happen if I failed at this? Paraphrasing here, failure only happens when you stop trying, keep trying, and failure can be symbolic with accomplishment. Yep, exactly. Right, because you're always going to learn, you're always going to grow, you're always going to expand. You know, recently I feel like I embarked on a journey and I was like, well, I'm diving into this because I know I will only grow as a result. And then when you make that the desirable result, you'll always win. You'll never fail. Right? But I lost my thought that I had prior. Do you know what I was talking about?
Fail. You failed. You failed us.
I did fail you. Wait, no, it was about you. Oh, so this is where having a relationship with your body is really important, and how to kind of come in and feel through things, because you're going to feel that fear. Like, yeah, you're going to have like thoughts, but you're going to feel that in your gut, in your heart, in your throat, and right. And so adding that component is essential to feel that alignment, so that you know that it's not like your mind or ego like forcing a result of like, I want this to happen, so that I feel safe, so that I'm seen as success, or right. So asking your questions of like, what if I do fail? What would I feel? What would I experience? What would that say about me? What would, if I succeed, what would that say about me? What would I feel, etc. To really kind of like feel through and know where the energy is clean and where it's sticky. Like, where are these sticky points that are happening? Yeah, within you.
That I think that's the exact point where I need the most help, is that recognizing that sticky point, and understanding if that is what I'm feeling. Is what I'm feeling just fear of the unknown, just fear of the possible outcomes, or because I think of this goal, and I think of achieving the goal, and it feels good, and I'm like, yes, this is exactly what I want to do, without a doubt. And then I think of what are the things that could happen if it doesn't work, like, and when you get into like big financial decisions, that's where it gets really creepy, because you're like, I don't know. I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know if I want to risk that. But the feeling of what the accomplishment would be is so large that it's like, I don't know. I think I got to try.
Right. And then if you don't see it as a failure, and that you are able to always make money, you're always employable, you're always able to get that, I think is really important. Like, oftentimes people will be like, okay, well, let's say they have a year's worth of income to sustain, maybe might have to make lifestyle choices, blah, blah, blah. And so it's like, okay, I have a year to sustain us. Well, I quit my job and try this new endeavor, right? For example. And then, and this is where like the belief and the keep going, and to not get in the doubt and not get in the procrastination and all of that is important. But knowing that, okay, well, what if I don't do that in a year? Well, did I grow? Did I learn? Can I still be employed? Can I still make money? Are there other ways to make money? Like, people just kind of, right? So, and that's what I mean about kind of opening your mind to these possibilities. Like, what is this moment showing me? Because people kind of get in this like real black and white, like, hey, either I'm this or I'm that, but versus like, okay, reassess and see where you are at that point. And then what's true then? What works then? And, we like to paint this picture of like, well, if I quit my job and try this new thing for a year, I'm gonna be screwed, right? And it's like, this is simply not true, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's just not.
I wonder what it would be like to have a year's worth of money saved up so I can just do something, just try something. That'd be amazing. I wonder what it would be like to have a month of money saved up.
Yeah, what I've found is people tend to have a lot more, than they most people tend to have a lot more than what they think they do. A lot of it is fear. So that's why I use it as an example, is because I come across it quite a bit.
Yeah. For like the failure aspect of the day-to-day little things here and there, you try something, it doesn't work. Like that stuff doesn't bother me anymore like it used to. I guess the the bigger your ideas get, the bigger the failure could be. That's when things